Thunder fans, Travis and Lonix here, joined by Thunder manager Shawn Chacon after the team's 15-10 win over the Frederick tonight in Frederick. They're en route now back to Trenton. Shawn, you guys were down 10-zip in this game after 3 innings, and you rallied back, 15 unanswered runs. It was amazing to talk briefly before we went live. I was following it, absolutely wild. Just opening thoughts about the game, the comeback, and everything. What happened?
Oh my God! Oh my effing God! That's my first reaction to that game. The outcome anyway. Because let me tell you what, like I've never been a part of a games that I just witnessed courtside. You feel me? Like I know it was a baseball game, but I felt like I was sitting courtside watching the show. Yeah. And it's when you kind of know, like you go to a movie, you know it's going to be a good ending to a movie, but you don't know how you're going to get there. Uh-huh. That's how it felt in the dugout tonight. Even, the first 5 spot, and then the next 5 spot. There was just this, this like, okay, we took some punches, we may have got knocked down and standing 8 count, but like it's so early in the game that you're like, I'm not going to take that. And you could just sense it with our team and let's get to the details of that. That was crazy.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Like, you guys been down like this before. You're down by 9 early in the season. Fought hard in that game. Fought hard in other games you've been down, but obviously haven't come back like tonight. 10-zip, I guess.
Yeah, dude. It's just crazy because nothing's changed with this team. Like, it'd be one thing if, we haven't seen this before, these type of characteristics from this team. But we've been seeing it all season. That, whether they score runs early on us or they don't, like our hitters have never wavered or changed their approach to what their strengths are and what they do in the game. And they carried us the whole season, low scoring games, high scoring games, it doesn't matter. They have been the heart and soul of this team. The beautiful part of it is too, though, that there's pitchers that have been here since day one that have also shines, and it's hard because even though our pitching staff has struggled for the most part, there's been some shining stars in that mix, though, that have kind of held it together too. So I don't want to forget about those guys, but the offense, man, tell you what, dude, these guys are so mature. I keep repeating myself. I feel like every day. The maturity of these hitters at the plate, and what I mean by that is how they never panic. Each of them, and it's contagious. I feel like they all carry the same approach where they don't panic. We faced a guy tonight, Alton Davis, that was lights out. Uh-huh. I mean, talk about a prospect. This kid, left-hander, tall, lanky, and an electric arm. Like he dominated us those first couple innings. But
first 3 innings scoreless.
Yeah, the Thunder though. The Thunder were made calm. So again, just generally speaking, you don't see it very often. A team gives up 10 runs and they're facing a top tier left-hander that's throwing gas and pounding the strike zone. You don't see them. Like at any level, you don't see a team come back and stay patient and just, bide their time like they did tonight.
Yeah, just want to say first off, again, thanks for hopping on. It's past midnight here, happy 4th of July on the road here, coming back to Trenton. You guys got a long bus ride back and then play tomorrow night.
Happy 4th,
Frederick, already.
What a way to celebrate the 4th, dude. Fireworks and then fireworks. And it's funny you make that joke, right? Like, let's give them some fireworks, boys. They came for fireworks, like some old head, like, dad comment type stuff. You're like, but it really did happen. Like it was such an entertaining game, and even for Frederick, scoring them 10 runs, like they were good in those first couple innings. They were all over us, and John.
Yeah. John?
He came out fighting.
You just cut off a couple seconds there.
Sorry, we're driving out here in the boonies. I don't even know where we are.
All good.
Near Gettysburg or something.
So you're talking about, well, that was like 10 seconds cut off, I think.
Okay. I think I was talking something about how, even when we gave up runs, the Frederick team, who is good themselves, like they were taking advantage of opportunities. Their offense was clicking. They were making plays. They were pitching. And I credit to them, but the baseball is a funny game, man. Like you got to stay even level. You got to make the routine plays no matter what. If you're up 10 or down 10, because we have a saying now that's kind of developed, into a theme for this team is that the game knows. Baseball knows, it's watching, and we just try to remind our guys to stay on a level emotion, and even keel, so that when the game does come back to you, you're ready to embrace the moments, and that's what our guys do.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mentioned last night, fireworks, being there, firework night, packed ballpark. So obviously, he's picked on our offense, score a lot of runs. Probably didn't expect this kind of game, but
nobody could expect this kind of game. I guarantee you this. Here's the thing, dude. If this explains how exciting this game was from start to finish, and how much credit you got to give to this team, the not just the hitters, the offense, the defense, everybody.
Yeah.
The opposing fans who are sitting behind our dugout, after the game, they gave us a round of applause, and they were, when we come out to shake hands and our guys are walking in, they were clapping for us, and like they were that impressed.
Wow.
And then finished.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can imagine. Wish I was there, but yeah. So I guess we'll going towards the game now. I want to say lineups going in. You had Harry back in the lineup, DH tonight. You had Jake Potternack back at third. Put Evan Sullivan at first base. Schroeder catching.
You're cutting out, Trav.
I was saying, before we get into all the game stuff, I said the lineups, you had Harry DH tonight, Potternack back at third, Sully at first base, Schroeder catching.
Yeah, dude, we're just kind of in a bag, mixing stuff up, and everything's clicking, but not because of anything we're doing as coaches. Like, we're just, these guys need opportunities, and we're trying to be even and fair with the opportunities. Guys like Harry, again, he's just catching up on his plate appearances, and he's taking advantage of them, and it's, this team has taken on an identity now. So even the guys that are, quote unquote bench players, more often than not, like they understand what it is. So again, it's not about winning, and it's not about, playing the best players for this league by any means. But when you're developing winners as well as, better ball players. So it just kind of helps when they get to see the results of what we're teaching.
Yeah. All right, so we get into it. So Fred just scored 5 runs in the first inning, Carver, and then 5 more in the third inning. And then you guys got the 5 spot in the fourth inning. Take us through that. Written down here.
Oh, man.
Yeah, after...
Go ahead, bro. You're going to have to remind me.
Yeah, so after Davis was strong through the first 3 innings, the 5 runs in the fourth, Juju singled, get you guys on the board, and then it said Evan Sullivan, the single to right field, cleared the bases, made it 10-4, said an error on the play.
Yeah, so we were talking about, all Davis and how, dominant he was, and us coaches were just trying to remind these guys, like, hey, we're still at this level of pitching. Like, this isn't, Chris Sale or somebody that's, established all-star, Hall of Fame big leaguer that's going to possibly throw 9 against us. So just take what you can and just bide your time. And, we figured around the fourth inning he was starting to wear down. So we just reminding our hitters again, like, he's wearing down, stay patient. From what I know about pitching, through my own experience, that when I got tired of pitching, I began to lose command, control, and that's when good hitters would take advantage. So our hitters are doing that tonight.
And so Whitley hit a ground ball and Sully scored on an error, making it 10-5. So I guess after that, you guys down 10-zip in the 5 spot in the 4th inning. How are you guys feeling right after that? Cut the lead in half, deficit in half.
Yeah, absolutely. Because once we got to that point, Sullivan again. I mean, these guys just step up, like I said, and they he started at first base, and I asked him last night on the bus. I said, "Hey, this is kind of the way our roster is right now. Like, I need you to play first base. Are you down?" And he's like, "Of course."
Yeah.
And so he took some ground ball, third BP, and this and that. But the great thing about this is they're ball players, and Sullivan's a ball player. So when those moments come up, like it did in that inning where we scored 5, I think there was 2 outs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was.
That's. I mean, it's huge. So again, these guys pick each other up in the lineup. Like, they're a close-knit group. They respect each other. They all understand what they're here for, as far as draft and all that. But they never have forgotten that they're playing a game of baseball, and that means there's other people involved. You know what I mean? So they pick each other up. And, we put up that 5 spot, and I just knew. Man. I mean, that's when us coaches, we just knew. We knew that we felt the vibe of the dugout, and, so just the way guys were talking, and, you just kind of stay out of their way at that point. So I commend our coaches, myself, for staying out of the way. You could get in a game like that and then try to overcoach it, because it's trying to come back and honestly step back and let it play out.
And then, so you guys got the 5 runs in the 4th inning and kept chipping away. You scored runs in the last 6 innings of the game, 5 in the 4th, the run in the 5th, 6th, 7th, 2 in the 8th, 5 in the 9th. You guys held Frederick scoreless the final 6 innings of the game. So I guess talk about just chipping away. There was innings there and holding them scoreless.
Yeah, that old phrase, "Hey guys, chip away." It's just funny because as cliche as some of those phrases and sayings are, like, "Hey, just keep them right there." Chip away, 1 an inning, chip away. Like, it really is a thing, and it builds a momentum. So, Kai Fike was out there, I think, in the 4th or 5th inning. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he was doing his thing, but he got to a point where there were guys on base, I believe, and they were in scoring position, and I think Frederick had an opportunity to score. And I made a comment to the dugout like, "Hey, it feels like if we get out of this inning, we're going to win this game," because we'd scored, I think, 1-1. Maybe it was 10-6 at that point. I'm not really positive, but it just really felt like when we got within 4, we were going to win the game. And you felt the temperature of the stadium, and the vibe just changed. And, Kai Fike stepped up. He got out of that jam. And then he went back out for the next inning and had another shutdown inning. So, the momentum that was being built and carried over from player to player, meaning hitter to hitter and pitcher to pitcher, it was contagious. And it was always like nobody wanted to be the weak link, dude. And it was just fun to watch, man. It makes you proud as a coach,
Yeah.
After that, after Kai Fike, you're going to ask about JJ Almeida.
Yeah, right. Calvert first, and then
yeah, Calvert was, he goes under the radar because he was so clean with what he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, these are new guys on the team, right?
Yeah, these are the noobs.
Guys.
These are the noobs. I think it's Ryan Calvert.
Ryan Calvert and JJ Almeida.
And Justin Almeida, we call him JJ. But anyway, I'll talk about Ryan. Like, kid from Duke, but came in late. We needed arms, and he's sitting at home waiting for an opportunity. Gets a call, and he shows up in 2 days. So he's pitched amazing to this point. But tonight he stepped in, did his thing. Couldn't have done it without him. But you think about how, like I said before, there's so many things that happen, so many guys involved, everybody pretty much, and some guys go under the radar. But Ryan Calvert again, super clean, maturity, calm, collected, did his thing. 2 innings. I mean, you know, that's a lot to ask, especially in a game like that. But then you fast forward to J.J. Almeida, who, a little background, he used to play for Ron Perrin, the hitting coach, and I at Cerritos Junior College a few years back. He transferred to Colorado Mesa for his senior year and just spent that year, you know, with Colorado Mesa. And I believe they went to the regionals or whatever, super regional of Division II. But anyway, we brought him in. This was his first outing. And I'll tell you what, man, there was ever a time that, you know, I was nervous for a kid. It was tonight with JJ, just because, you know, I know his background, his desire to be here, his appreciation for being here. And we pulled him in, you know, so you have that kind of bias, like, okay, like you want him to succeed so bad. And so when he loaded the bases, you know, it was a stressful time. But when he got out of it, man, what a way to nut up, for lack of a better term.
Oh, yeah. I was fired up looking at it. The runners on base and strikeout. Wow.
Guys got to stop. Strikeout. So the funny part, there's funny parts of baseball, dude. Listen, and I could talk all night. Yeah, I could talk all night. Like, there's funny parts of baseball, right? It's how you approach the game too. It's how you approach the game on the other side as well. It's about humility, right? So if you choose to play baseball, then you need to understand this first. Like, it's a humbling game. And if you refuse to be humble, then the game will humble you over and over again until you accept it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you look across the dugout and you look at our own team, how we played the game, and what, you know, it's like a baseball card, I think. And I always tell these guys, hey, the game's watching. So whatever you do that doesn't go along, you know, with the way the baseball game is supposed to be played, then it will let you know. And I just feel like, you know, for Frederick team, they needed to, you know, have some moments of like, okay, we're on top, we're dominating, we're blowing them out. But like, there were some moments with a couple of players, and I won't name anybody, but I thought a little bit of humility would have gone a long way for him. But ultimately, it just, you know, they got taught a lesson tonight, not from us beating them. I don't want that to be the message, but, you know, there was some things out there that could have been done differently that I feel like would have changed the outcome for them. So,
Gotcha. So, tell more clarity here, color, what happened there. So, down 10-8 in 8th inning. So, I see bases loaded. Juju Stevens, we tied the game on a 2-run sac fly double play. Can you go through that?
I don't even know. We always joke about, like, if you go to a baseball game, you see something new you've never seen before, right? And, man, I've never seen a 2-run sac fly ever. Just the way it's played. But, like, let me tell you, first of all, that ball should have been a home run. I thought, because Juju actually smashed that ball. And I think any other time of night or earlier in the evening, that ball would have been gone. But Whitney, but that doesn't make it a testament about his speed. And doesn't set him apart from anybody else. I don't know what else does, but that was one of those plays where, you know, I won't forget it ever, but it doesn't happen unless you have that recipe. Juju hitting the ball 400 and not enough feet, you know, center field. But
he just raced around, I guess, right after he caught it.
Yeah, dude. It's just crazy. So all those things, like I said, like you don't play in games like that. You don't get to watch games like that. That when even the craziest things happen, that lead you to what happened tonight with us. You know, sometimes it's like, oh, a team came back and they got close, right?
Yeah.
But they needed some crazy other play to happen, and then they would have won. Well, that's what happened tonight, right? Like the what ifs happened, and the needs, like we needed all of that. We needed every single, you know, crazy play or ball bounced the way it did for us to go that way. And I've certainly been on the other side of that too. Not like that 10 runs, but like, we've been on the side of it where you just can't do anything right as a team and it snowballs. So, I'm not by any means like unaware of that, just saying.
Yeah, it just seems like from the box score and following, like you said, it all kind of fell into place when you're away tonight with the pitching, getting the zeros, getting out of the jams, offensively, working your walks, taking advantage of some errors by the keys, getting the hits around the bases.
It was everything, man. It was everything. It was a complete ball game. It was 9-inning complete ball game, and that's the lesson, kids. If you're listening. It's 27 outs, man. Sometimes, go extras, but like 27 outs. Doesn't matter what happened in the first or the second. It's all about where you're at, the ninth inning, and then, the in-betweens is what gets, lost because it's easy to give up when you give up 10 runs in the first 3 innings.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's difficult not to put it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Back to J.J. Almeida. You guys mentioned tough putting him in there first time, and that was after you guys tied the game up at 10. So then you come put him in there, and then obviously getting in the jam, and then working out of the jam like that to keep it tied going to the 9th inning. I mean, what a job, huh?
That's baseball, dude. Listen, baseball is this. It just knows, okay? So when you put it, like, let's say you put a guy in a new position, right? Or in the middle of the game. It's kind of uncanny how often the first ball hit will go to that player, right? Yeah. And we always joke about it. The ball it'll find you, right? Like that's just a baseball thing. So for JJ, we kind of made the plan. You got to give these guys a little bit of notice. We were down 10-8, and I'm like, all right, it'll be JJ the 8. Not anticipating that it would be tied, by any means for his first, outing in the draft league. But as baseball is, like, it's going to give you what you're not ready for. And, he would be the first one to admit that he was nervous and he, didn't really know what to expect. And hasn't really pitched in front of people like that. It was a huge crowd of Frederick tonight.
Yeah.
So, it was a nerve-wracking moment for us all, but it's a credit to him. And us letting him, kind of work it out, man. It was nerve-wracking. Two second and third with no outs.
Yeah.
And then was it bases loaded?
I think it was second, third, nobody out in the 8th inning. You got the 3 straight strikeouts.
3 strikeouts.
Yeah. Amazing, unreal. Sent into the 9th inning where you guys got not just a couple, you got 5 runs there, some sac flies, working walks, hits. Everybody chipping in there in 9th inning. Shawn?
How about now?
Yeah, I got you now. Yep.
Sound like the Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? I don't even know what you missed.
I missed most of it. I was just saying 9th inning, getting the 5 runs, all guys chipping in. I guess.
Oh, yeah. So then we fast forward to where the real, like, if you a professional part of this team showed up, when you have runners. Okay.
All right. We're battling it. I'll pause the recording.
Try again. Let me know. Are you on?
Yeah, we're on. We're good. Yep.
All right. Okay. So
9th inning, 10-10.
9th inning, 10-10. Okay. Get out of that huge jam. JJ Almeida showed huge nuts, right? Get out of it. Shout out to our Cali boy who we brought out here. Anyway, 9th inning. A professional hitting team has opportunities to drive in runs by simple baseball, right? Sac fly. I think, was it 2 sac flies that inning?
Yes, 2 sac flies.
2 sac flies. And you just think about how, okay, it's easy to do things when teams give you... Am I coming out again?
Actually, 3 sac flies. Look at
3 sac flies. 3 sac flies. And then you think about just, drive the runs in that are there to drive in, right? And that's what sealed the deal, put the nail in the coffin, if you will. Like, that was the stamp right there, because you leave runs out there, you don't know what's going to happen in baseball. So I'm just proud of our guys for getting those last couple insurance runs in, because they're important. And that's just the way you play baseball the right way anyway. Like, you don't take it for granted. They could have taken those at-bats, for granted, and just decided, hey, we came back and we're leading now, so who cares? But they did not. And, again, another proud moment as a coach at this staff. But we can't be more proud of these fellas.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that 5-run lead, and you're burning your guy. Who are you going to put in there? Andrew Ronnie for the 9th inning?
Oh, man. Dude, this guy's Andrew Ronnie's been more dominant than any pitcher we've had, I think, the last few weeks. And tonight he even touched 97.
Yeah.
So he was pumped, man. And again, it's just, that's the way this team is for each other. They were all in it from the first inning to the last pitch, and that type of emotion. Like, Andrew Ronnie stepped up and knew what it meant. Like, come back, even though we're up 5 runs, not to mess around, to go right at him and just, finish him if we will.
Yeah, it's probably all adrenaline the whole night. Sitting there ready to go in there all night. Wild game.
Yeah, he was sitting there during that bottom of that top of the 8th inning, I'm sure, or top of the 9th, I'm sure, and it gets a little more extended, and you're like, man, I just want to go in there.
Yeah.
But you got to give him credit for it's easy to have a little bit of a letdown when you go in with a 5-run lead rather than tied or a 1-run lead. So
yeah,
you got to give him credit for coming in and dominating anyway.
Yes, sir. Now, guy I haven't talked about much. Your second baseman, Rowan Massey. Want to ask about him? In the last couple nights before tonight, he had a couple hits in each game. Tonight, 3 walks. So,
like I said before, I'll say it again. There's so many little pieces of this game tonight that mattered, and some of them get, hidden because there's other moments that are maybe more exciting. But if you're a baseball purist and you know baseball, like, it's like a butterfly effect. Like, things don't happen unless other things happen first. And we talk about, Rowan Massey, just, again, getting on base, causing a distraction to the pitcher when he's out there. He's not even a base stealer, but he's out there making them think that he is. And if you don't think that affects a pitcher, you may not have watched enough baseball, because I watched him out there knowing he's not a base stealer, but still drawing pickoffs, maybe even almost getting picked off, but knowing he's not stealing, it's kind of funny to see. Like, and at first you're like, man, what's Bro doing? But that's just a testament to his IQ of this game. Like, he knows he's not a base stealer, but he also knows the effect it has on a pitcher to think that he might steal a base. Gotcha. And having a big lead, he's doing those guys at the plate a favor.
Gotcha. So I guess pretty much the rundown of the game. Any other thoughts? Think of we probably talk about this game forever, like you said earlier, but for the night in Frederick, the environment, the crowd, the game, anything else?
I mean, listen, it was a beautiful night in Frederick. The crowd was great. They were. I don't think there was an empty seat. Everything from the way the stadium was set up, the weather was great. It was a perfect night for baseball. We got a little flyover in the beginning of some old school aircraft. I'm not even sure what they were, so I won't think of names for them. But it was a holiday type environment from the first pitch, and we're on the road, so it's just one of those things where you're like, man, these guys love to play this game of baseball. It doesn't matter what the environment scenario is. And I just, again, these kids, if I had a chance to talk to every team out there in the MLB, I'd be like, you want all these guys on your teams by sheer character, So I'm glad to have the support of you guys, and now the carryover is we got to go give our home fans, what they've been yearning for all season, and that's like just for them to see how we really are as a team.
Yes, sir. Guys have had great success on the road. Look like 8-4 or something like that. Now you went from 4-8 on the season to now 13-11. So a great turnaround, 9-3 in the last 12 games. Testament to the whole team, like you mentioned.
Yeah, man. Like I said, we've been just kind of stepping back, letting them do their thing. We like to let them play. We just trying to make sure everybody gets a chance. And they've just kind of bonded together and taken it, upon themselves to be a team and that play to win the game every day. So good group of fellas, man.
Nice. One more guy I want to mention. Looking at the box score again here. Mike Cooley, you said last night he's gonna have a big weekend. Had a home run here in the 7th inning.
Oh yeah, didn't I say that shit, dude? Come on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Travis, that's with me, bro. I forgot. See?
Yeah, I almost forgot.
So, yeah, I'm glad you brought it up because I do remember telling you. I just remember watching Mike move, dude, and again, I know, like, if anybody follows baseball, players go through these ups and downs, and I wouldn't even call them slumps because, a slump is something it's a way different monster. But like baseball, you go through ups and downs, highs and lows, and the lows are still, you're still pretty good. You just have to not get caught up in the result. And I watched Michael Lee go through one of his quote unquote lows and just kept shoving him in the lineup and letting him work it out. And honestly, I could just see things change with him. I saw his at bats. I saw his approach. The other guys around him that were hitting that success is contagious, like I said. And I'm not toot my own horn, told you so, but I was just happy to see him, that whole run, I think, kind of cap, his little end up his little low points for sure.
Yeah, awesome stuff. I think that's all I got for the game and stuff. But again, now you guys en route back to Trenton after this 15-10 win, amazing win. Now 4 wins in a row for Trenton, and 13-11 overall. Tied for first place now with Williamsport in the standings, big time there. And like you mentioned, coming back home for the game 4th of July tomorrow night. Later today to play Frederick in front of the home crowd for 1, and then State College for 2 Saturday and Sunday. So excited for that. Thanks always for joining me here, Shawn. Yeah, we can say it.
I just want to make sure you
excited.
But 65.
You say excited to be playing at home, right?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah.
I can't hear anything. Are you there?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I got you now. Sorry, dude. You were cut out.
Yeah, I was saying, goes back home, Frederick tomorrow, then State College over the weekend, big weekend at home. Yeah.
Yeah, man. We'll be home later this evening. Holiday weekend. Should be fun. So,
yeah. All right.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on, Shawn. Appreciate it as always. Safe travels. Thanks, man.
All right, brother. Peace.